Hey guys, and welcome to our review of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, episode 34. I'm your host, the Cinder Blaze, and with me today we have...
Strange words.
And Makotoa.
Alright, let's jump into the next in our kind of like stream of filler at this point. I honestly don't mind the filler that Boruto is producing.
I don't feel like this is This
is filler.
This felt like something that they could easily like flashback to later. You know.
But
and when that happens,
in the same respect, it's like also something that they wouldn't ever flashback to. You know, like you can take this out like completely, and it probably wouldn't affect the later stories of Boruto. But it's just nice to have it there and knowing that happened.
Yeah, the whole, group thing. One last time. Oh, but that just made me more excited because it's like, oh, they're hinting that they're about to graduate finally from the academy so we can actually start,
Boruto Shippuden, let's go!
The story of them actually being ninjas. And, they're technically not yet. They're not even Genin. Yep. I still can't believe that we've gone this long and they haven't even become Genin yet. But finally, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. How about you, Jordan? Like, how'd you overall feel about this episode?
It's a filler episode, but there wasn't anything really bad about it. Like it had the nice lesson. Even if you maybe won't stay friends, you can still make good moments. And then, also, I guess I gotta mention the fact that class president's like, you know what? I learned how to talk no tutu just like Boruto did. Yeah, there we go. That's the only notable thing I can remember from this episode.
One of the first thing. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I was gonna say I remember how Mitsuki or whatever his name is just showed up in the middle of their seats.
Yeah,
in between them. Like immediately, as soon as Boruto started sulking, he's like, "What's wrong, Boruto?" Like that was great, but kind of the creepiness where he's like, "Okay."
Yeah, honestly,
I love it.
When Boruto was alone and just sulking, he's like, "I have no friends." I was like, where's Mitsuki? He would totally show up at this point because he has nothing to do and he's always following Boruto around.
Pretty much.
So come on, but he picks his moments,
Yeah.
He's not just gonna waste his appearances. So I'm glad on Mitsuki for that.
Limited screen time, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I really liked about this episode overall was that it was a very Boruto-esque problem.
Yeah.
Because Naruto in the academy, he didn't really have any friendships. People could argue that he had that bond with Sasuke, but that was nowhere near a friendship. The only person he had a positive relationship, honestly, was with Ruka Sensei, towards the end.
Yep.
But he's been friends with all these kids throughout his years in the academy, and once they're about to graduate, he's kind of concerned, I like these people. Am I just gonna never see them again? Which are totally, realistic feelings at graduation and stuff like that. So, I really like this kind of grounding conflict that Boruto had that was relatable, and it wasn't like Naruto's problems, and they didn't say it wasn't like Naruto's problems. It was just there, and we can kind of deduce that for ourselves without the show telling us that this is a Boruto problem.
Yeah, not like episode 1 or 2 in this show where everyone was like, "Oh, you're in your father's shadow. You're in your father's shadow. Oh, are you sad because you're in your father's shadow?" Everyone was saying that. Every kid on the freaking academy block, even some of the filler characters I have no idea exist. But
yeah, just because he's the Hokage's son.
That kind of thing. Yeah. Special treatment. But
although last week's episode when Himawari won that award, I was kind of like, this is somewhat bullshit, but I like Himawari, so I'm not gonna throw a fit about it.
I'm like, this is pretty rigged, but it's Naruto. It's
Yeah,
it's
I'm pretty sure
fine.
no one else would have objections to that. uh, how'd you guys feel about Sarda in this episode though? Because she felt like I already ship Boruto and Sarda, so just like seeing them have like this, development alongside each other, kind of filled that spot in my heart. But
Well,
she
sorry.
didn't just have like shallow development this episode. It was kind of like natural in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys like feel about like Sarda's like conflicting view on Boruto's like conflict?
I was enjoying it. I think it also helped when we got to see, you know, Sakura kind of give her little tidbit of advice and have some nostalgia feelings for the trio that happened back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it. I remember at the time I was like, wow, this is kind of nice. Like, just seeing the contrast in the groups and how even, though things are really different, Sarada's still kind of has the same kind of feelings towards Boruto that like Sakura had towards Naruto. Even though, the situations are quite different now and Boruto is completely different than Naruto and like that he isn't a loner with no friends. But
Also, he's really competent as a
yeah.
ninja.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad that the show has actually made it seem realistic with what Boruto struggles with, despite having those things that Naruto didn't, and that there's still things that he can struggle with.
Yeah. Like at the beginning of the episode, he's kind of wondering where everyone was, and then
Yeah.
Sarda's like, they have their own issues, and Boruto's like, oh dang, and like when you actually like think about it, it's like, well, Boruto doesn't really have any conflicts, and that kind of makes him like, it makes it hard for him to like relate to other people, which is
Yeah,
something that Naruto didn't have.
that's true.
If you think about it, like everyone shared Naruto's kind of sob story in one sense or another, and for Boruto, he doesn't really have that, you know,
Like
and like the way he kind of yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, I don't really have anything
Oh,
meaningful to say after.
just wanted to say that Boruto probably has the best life out of pretty much any Naruto character. I
Yeah.
think, just period. It's like son of a Hokage, loving family,
Yeah.
talented, smart. It's it's just like
Friends.
got a bunch of friends, popular. It's like this is pretty amazing life you got there, pal.
Yeah, can't wait for it to go to shit in Japan.
I can't wait for the like everybody's dead. My village was burned to the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
If you don't have traumatic childhood experiences yet, don't worry. He's not an adult yet. There's still time.
Yeah, plenty of time for your village to get erased from existence.
Yeah.
But
Also, I think the other thing I wanted to talk about was their whole like mission for this episode was to catch this fancy fish that what is it called? Was it the eternal fish or was it just like some
Eternal
rainbow
carp.
fish? Yeah, the
Eternal
eternal carp. And the first thing that came to mind was, this sounds like a Toriko episode.
Oh my
You
gosh!
know?
Don't
I
remind me
didn't
of the
I didn't even think of
wasted
that.
potential. No.
That's funny.
Okay, like towards the beginning when they're doing simple stuff and not just like bending the universe and dodging gravity.
Oh man, Toriko. You could have been some good stuff, but you just had to go down a darker path, and by dark
Yeah,
path I mean mediocre path.
I guess I'm glad that I kind of dropped off when I did because I still have fond memories of that show
I mean-
and manga.
yeah.
The manga got super stupid in the end, but it was a fun stupid at least.
Yeah, it was still Toriko in a sense.
I
But
guess
let's talk
that's
about
all you can
Boruto
ask
a little
for.
bit.
Yeah, it's like okay, I'll give it this much. Even though we're doing Boruto cast, it was a much more fun ending than Bleach's ending because at least Toriko it was just stupid fun. Bleach
Well,
was just
Bleach was a bit depressing
stupid.
because you knew that it was not meant to be that way.
It was act so hard,
Yeah.
and that just makes me so. I'm just like, man, Kubo, please, just
Yeah.
if they gave you another year, this would have been great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Yeah, it was like just getting good. Also, I think the last thing I'm gonna just go chronologically was what was it? The class rep kind of like talk no jutsuing Boruto, but it was like a good talk no jutsu. It wasn't like too overbearing, but
Mhm.
like it was like her saying even though they might grow apart, like they won't see each other as much, like the interactions they had, like that still carries on through like who they are today. Like Boruto did help her like break out of her shell in a sense, and be
Yeah.
strive to become the shinobi that she might be in the future, which was like a real sweet kind of lesson of the episode type of thing. But disregarding that, she actually started using her Noe powers, which was or Nue powers, which might be interesting for the rest of the series. How do you guys think that's actually going to develop? Is it going to be like a gag or?
I love it. I hope no, it's not going to be a gag. She's going to like they're going to continue to make Boruto video games in the same style as Naruto, and she's going to be one of those characters, and she's going to have the cool little chakra snakes, and she'll summon that thing, and it'll be like that's her gimmick. That's her character power right there.
Yeah, and she still has a lot of like chibi Nue thing, which
Yeah.
I've kind of found adorable.
It's the new Akamaru, man. Like, here we go. Let's go, Akamaru.
No, I don't.
no,
I still can't like that character after what he did in the filler anime.
In the filler. It wasn't his fault, okay? They gave him the stupid power up that didn't make sense. Taking down the 3 Rashomon gates. Yeah, right.
He was also a scummy dog in the series. So, he hasn't really won my heart in any sense. Wait, we don't have a dog user in this series yet.
It's because he never got a girlfriend because he's a scummy guy. He never got, to have kids.
You know what? I guess that's what he deserves after that atrocious filler.
Really? Oh my gosh.
Alright, Jordan, you have anything to add?
This is filler episode. There isn't dip.
Alright, Michael, anything?
My last comment was I totally was surprised by the budget this episode and just the nuance of things. Like, it was well animated. It was like, wait, are we like episode 1 all over again? Like, this is actually good stuff. Because it's definitely not episode 2 and 3. I don't know what happened in those episodes, but like, so is the budget like, consistently settled into a really good spot? Because I think lately I haven't had too many problems with it.
I feel like this episode was like directed real well around their anime budget because I don't really know it, but for a lot of the scenes they didn't need to do any fancy animation because a lot of talking and
it wasn't fancy,
real
but
simple stuff.
It wasn't fancy, but it wasn't like freaking Food Wars season 3 going on right now. Because if you've gotten even like 4 or 5 episodes into that show, everything is panning. Like, and I'm not talking about kitchen pans. Like, it's just.
That pun just infuriated me.
It's like it's unbelievable how, like, where did the budget go for that show? I have no idea, but like it's pretty jarring to me and a few other people I saw in the Crunchyroll comments, but at least the plot is holding the show up still because it's actually getting really interesting. But anyways, that's not this other show. I liked the budget for this episode, or at least what we saw. It stood out to me a little bit.
Yeah, like I remember like the director saying, or like the creator saying that the animation was like super important to him. Mm-hmm. So like I'm glad that it's still holding up some quality.
Yeah, that's
although
good.
I'm comparing it to the worst of Naruto Shippuden, so it'll be really hard to disappoint me at this point.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
All right. I guess that wraps it up for this review. Unless you have like final words.
Nope.
No. All right. Well, we're gonna call that a review.
Yep.
Make sure to look down in our description down below. We got some links down there to our social medias and maybe a Discord link, which we are starting to use a lot more frequently now.
Yep.
Against our will or not. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
All of them
like
or
you
none
should.
of them. Don't do one. All of them or none. It's it. Only options.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just drop the likes, just please do. Yeah, so that wraps it up for us. See you next time.
Later.